Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal, Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said well. I'm doing well. If you saw yesterday's vlog, you know that we were hanging out with Todd Fisher and Catherine Hickland, and we were looking just a little bit around their house, but today we're going to explore a lot more. We're going to see the vast amount of memorabilia they have there, including a lot of Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher. Of course, that was his mother and sister, and a whole lot more. Daze with Jordan the Lion, it begins right now.
Now, if you follow this girl right here, she will show you something very unique. The King Kong poster is spectacular, but that is not what she's going to show you.
But as you come up to the King Kong poster, which is spectacular because it's a, what is this, a 4-sheet or more?
That is a 6-sheet.
A 6-sheet.
But it's so in very skimpy.
Oh wow, yeah.
This was very racy for its day. And I love this poster, but there's something that I love even more because it's our childhood. Not yours because you're very young. But this is from Green Acres.
Yes, it is.
Remember?
Yes, Lisa Douglas.
And darling, that was
That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
That's actually maybe one of top 3.
Right? I knew you were going to like that.
Mr. Douglas.
Keep my hand, just give me that countryside.
And we also have the gown and the shoes, not the dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
And that was going to be in the first auction, but Debbie, I told her how much I was admiring it, and she yanked it out to give it to me. So I was.
And the dress and the shoes.
And the dress and the shoes. So,
and the dog looks a little like Dwight.
Right. But so that means a lot to me for lots of reasons.
I love it. I'm with you. That's one of my all-time favorite shows.
Yep.
All time.
That is the story of my life.
Just say you can't do that.
No ratings.
You know, so like I had right at the same time was the Cleopatra, Claudette Colbert version of Cleopatra, and they had posters that came out with her very scantily dressed, and so they literally went in when the rating system came out and they painted out her legs and her bust.
That's how they used to do it.
Like so, like if they had got a hold of this, they would have just painted her. You know, so we couldn't see her body.
Look at the painting. Oh my gosh, isn't she gorgeous? And they even have, we'll get more in detail, but they even have her costume right there that we're going to get to look at. Isn't that amazing?
This was Elvis Presley's gun.
Which one?
The rifle is his gun, but these are my mother's. She did a Western called The Second Time Around. She plays a sheriff. Okay, this is too close to the wall. Okay, there we go.
Holy smoke. Look at that.
So, pick it up.
Is that an order? Okay. Okay. Wow, that's heavy. Wow.
That's what everybody says. You just did exactly what 90% of the people do when they grab an Oscar. They all say, ooh, this is heavy. So that's Debbie's Lifetime Achievement Award. Wow. This was her Maltese Falcon that was given to her by Warner Brothers. And that was in the museum, but it was one of the few things that she chose to take out, not sell, and put it on her mantle. The ruby slippers are in her bedroom back here. Same thing with that. She had a pair of slippers that were given to her. You can see down there is the script from The Unsinkable Molly Brown. And then, of course, that's the nomination certificate from The Unsinkable Molly Brown. I say of course.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a nice, that's her script with her nomination certificate. And then here's her director's chair. So there you have The Unsinkable Molly Brown, and this is her chair. And then there's a 3-sheet poster, and there's her main costume. You can see the picture down there, actually, of her in it and up there. So this was from this was from I'll Never Say No to You. Not I'll Never Say No to You, from, yeah, I was. They sang I'll Never Say No to You. And then he says they get to go to Europe together and learn to read and write. I'm going to learn to read and write.
Just for anybody that wants to know, I've been walking around holding this Oscar this whole time, so that's the first time I've ever vlogged carelessly carrying an Oscar around.
And while you were doing that, the chickens were watching you right here. So you were being observed by the chicken. See the chicken over there? The chicken was watching.
Yep.
In fact, usually these two are together. Mm-hmm. because don't they look good together?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think that he looks good with an Oscar. I mean, a lot of birds don't. He does. It's just the gold with the red and the white. It works.
It's just so crazy to see that in person.
So this is hiding back here, but that is that's the SAG Lifetime Achievement Award. Not sure what that is. So there's a plaque there, but that's a big deal too. This is kind of like the second biggest honor you can get as
The first is having dinner with me.
Yes, that's right. My mother is still talking about that.
No. Made her day.
And then look at her costume right here. What a classic. That's so neat. I just can't believe we're getting to do this. Getting to see all these. Now, this is great. This was part of the set for Cleopatra. This was right in the entryway to her tomb. Isn't that great?
Come out front and I'll show you the other one, and there's also another piece.
Oh, there's the other one, right out front.
They're girls. They're two girls. You do not want to piss them off. It's worse than Darth Vader.
That's so neat.
Over here is another one of the little guardians of the tomb. Another Cleopatra piece. I always thought that was kind of a cool place for it, though. So that's Carrie and I with my mom on the set of How the West Was Won. And, you know, we're not that old, but I think we're like maybe 5, 6, you know. But if you come down here, there's the dress. So, and we were kind of blown away. If you watch the next picture that comes up, you'll see Carrie reaching towards her face. Like, what in the world has happened to our mother?
And is that the script? That's
that is
great.
the script. And there's the script from Susan's Left Here. And then there's the poster back there. Kat, did you ever tell the story about the picture?
What?
Did you tell the story about the picture? It was signed to Debbie from Ernest Borgnine, and then to Debbie from Betty Davis. Makes it special because it's an original Hirschfield.
Yeah.
And as you know, all the Hirschfields, he hid his daughter's name in every painting.
Looks like one right there, Nina.
Yep.
Yeah.
You always got to find the Nina.
Yep. I always love these.
Well, he had amazing skills. But what's important about this is the second movie my mother made with Betty Davis, and they did become close friends. And so this was always prominent in my mother's house, this particular Hirschfield. This was Carrie's from Return of the Jedi. The chair from Return of the Jedi. And I actually have a picture of it at the office. This is where you put your script. It's got little things. And so that's the Star Wars thing. And then it's got her name here. And anyway, I have a picture of her and her extra sitting in chairs. And you can see this chair. And so we salvaged this chair. At the time, we weren't thinking chairs were relevant, you know. But I also did manage to get her original 77 Star Wars chair, which I have at the other.
Cool.
So that's a cool one. We also got her blaster, and you'll see this blaster is a we'll call it a really none of them are technically functional, but there's this blaster, and then there's the other blaster at the office that actually does fire a blank. So we have two of her blasters, but she's kind of
That's so neat.
So you'll see more of Carrie's stuff at the office.
And there's her dress.
Susan Slept Here. The reason why this is here is I was telling Susan Slept Here stories. This is RKO picture. Howard Hughes owned RKO at this time. And my mother was working.
I gotta get you out of here.
Uh-oh, there's Carrie. She's talking to us. Did you hear her say?
Whoa, there are no coincidence, Todd.
She said, I got to get you out of here.
That's crazy.
I mean, are you about to do something? Anyway, so Debbie actually, working for Hughes, was involved in a party. She didn't have a lot of clothes in those days. She didn't have a lot of money at all. So she asked Mr. Wolf, who was the costume designer for the film, Susan Slept Here, if it would be okay if she borrowed the costume from the scene that was already shot. And he was like, no, Debbie. That is not how it works.
Yeah.
Why? We're done with it. No, in case we have to reshoot. No. My mother didn't understand that. So she, after work, climbed over the fence where the costumes were kept on the stage or behind a little chain link fence and took the costume, wore it to the party. The next day came back, climbed over the fence and put it back. Now somewhere in the returning part of the equation, they found out that she had taken the costume. And so I actually have my mother on camera telling the story, and I have Mr. Wolf, who's long since gone, telling the story from his perspective. And they all said that Mr. Hughes got really mad about this because in his mind it was like a huge security breach. He said, "Are you trying to tell me that this little girl
could do that?
Just could come in here and take whatever she wants and bring it back and nobody sees it or stops her?" Well, Mr. Hughes, you see, I mean, she's so cute, and I mean, we didn't want to, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's one of the costumes from that film. There's a picture of her down there wearing it.
Here she is in that dress.
I actually have two of these. One of them's out in the back. That's, if you look right there, that picture, that's him on top of the fountain over at Lucas's I-11. He sits on top of the fountain, and the artist that made it, he made a few of them, and I had one that was Carrie's, and then I bought another one later. I'm not sure which one this is. One of them is in the backyard, and one of them is Carrie's. I can tell by looking at the plaque on the back here. Oh, I think I can. Lawrence Noble. But since it doesn't have a number on it, this was the Carrie one. It was like an artist's proof. And then I have one outside that actually had a number on it that I bought. He is such a talented artist. I mean, tell me he didn't nail this thing down. Look at how beautiful.
Where would Carrie have kept this, or where did she keep this?
It was actually in storage forever because it was going to go in the museum. This actually became a very controversial item in one of the auctions because I just showed it, and somebody said, I forgot who, some fan or somebody wrote in and said, "There's no way, that's not Carrie's because Todd just bought one of these at an auction." And they made a big to-do out of it. But this is funny.
Not knowing you had two now.
Who would even ask, right? No, but I mean, the idea, I did buy one at auction because I always, first of all, you can't find them. So when the one came up for auction, I was like, hell yeah, I want that. But so I did buy one at auction, but I'd always had Carrie's too. And so they just assumed that it was not Carrie's. And and what's funny about it is the press, as the press does, jumped on board with the negative side of the story.
Of course.
Trying to make it as if it was some sort of like a hustle. Like I'm trying to pawn this thing off as Carrie's.
In 50,000 items that you're auctioning, you had to go out and you had to go buy one to put in an auction? It makes no sense.
If I buy something, it's because it means something to us. Like I still collect. Like I bought a Debbie costume not that long ago off of an auction that I didn't have from a movie I didn't have. So I'm always still looking for Debbie stuff. And Carrie stuff too. First of all, you can't find Carrie stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I see a Carrie costume, you can be sure I'm going to buy that costume. Now, even if I did have another one, which in this case you would never have another one. But anyway, this story never really got straightened out because, like, I'm not going to fight those stupid battles. But it's so typical of how the press responds to things today. In the last, many years, the days of Walter Cronkite are long gone. Investigative reporting is dead. People telling the right kind of stories, balanced stories, irrelevant. Like the whole media is just lost in some sort of crazy spell. It's like the Trump hatred has just spun everybody off into madness, and you can't blame Trump because we could all just say, "Who cares?"
Yeah.
I mean, so the whole idea of just getting caught up in it is dumb. And this is that same kind of thing where you have half of a story and you run off in that story.
Well, what's interesting also is that there's bound to be more than one of those, just like there were more than one Ruby Slippers, and people had to understand when you film a movie and you film things like that, you have multiples for various reasons.
So there's, I was mentioning a costume. I'm actually selling a costume in an auction of my mother's coming up in December because we're doing a little auction and we needed a good lead item. Now I'll put a safe reserve on it, but here's the thing. They don't know this, but I actually have two.
Oh, really?
Why do I have two? Because my mother falls in the mud, face down, in this costume. So you have two, because you have to change clothes. they're identical.
Yeah.
Obviously. So, and that's the same thing with the
Push-up
film.
stand-ins sometimes they have to have
but that's
one.
different because they'd be made for the stand-in. This is still a hero costume. So, Sound of Music, when Julie Andrews falls in the water, we had one of those costumes. Another one came up. Everybody was like, "Oh, you stole that from Debbie." And I was like, "No, they didn't. Look at the damn movie. There's a scene. It's clear there were at least two. She falls in the water. I mean, you're not going to have one. What are we going to have? One costume and go over here and put it in the dryer and hold up the entire production? I mean, for over $100 dress? Madness. So there's a lot of that goes around. So we have to be logical about these things.
Wait a minute. What did you say?
So Lucy and Debbie were buddies. And Lucy would try to get Debbie to go out and do things, like they'd play tennis and do other things together. So this set of clubs was given to my mother by Lucy, and this set of clubs was given to me by Lucy as well, because these golf clubs were made for Desi. And if you look on here...
No way.
If you look carefully right here, you will see Desi. D-E-S-I.
Oh my gosh.
Desi. So Desi was a few years older than me. Now if you look at this golf club, little tiny golf club. So I was given this golf club as a hand-me-down because Desi got the next bigger set of golf clubs. I would get the set that he was using.
Bummer, huh?
No, it's a good one. So now what happened next is Desi got a little bigger, and then the next set of clubs would come out. So these are a little bigger, next bigger set. And you can see here's, another set with Desi's name on them. And it got bigger and bigger. Eventually I got my own full-size set. But, oh wait, here's the first one. I'm sorry. We missed the first one. It's too small. This is the first one.
Oh, wow.
So here.
That's crazy.
So see how, so there's the first Desi. We got that one. I moved into my own house when I was like 18, 19. And my mother was a little lost in how to handle her kids at this point. Like most parents at that age. And your teenagers have moved out and what are they doing? And so for reinforcement, who else do you want to bring with you when you're checking on your son? Lucy, right?
Of course.
When you all want to bring Lucy with you when you're checking on your teenager.
Seems like it would just turn into an episode of I Love Lucy with those two.
And you don't know what to say, so you bring Lucy because she always knows what to say. Or if she doesn't, she's great at living. So in comes Lucy and my mother, and I know right away what it's all about. Like she's just checking on me. She's worried. I moved out, I had my own little house, and she's worried about me. I'm up in Coldwater Canyon. In comes Lucy, and they're like, okay, so what's going on here? And Lucy was intense.
Really?
Very intense. I don't mean mean. I mean, like, she
walked in, she was the boss, almost.
She was powerful woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, she's a big lady. So I'm not a big person on top of this. She was bigger than me. But she was also just intense. I mean, like, first of all, we all knew her from everything. And I grew up around her, but I also knew her from other things. But she was just very intense. A little intimidating is probably a good way to put it. Not in a horrible way, because she was sweet as she could be. Everybody loved Lucy.
Yeah.
And everybody would love Lucy if you knew her. If you knew Lucy like I knew Lucy, she was awesome. But it was just cute. And the two of them together, it's just a great memory to have them come check on me. And I remember when they were leaving, they were like, okay, well, we're going to leave. We're just checking to see everything okay. I said, hey, come back anytime.
Yeah, of course.
It's like Father's knows best. Yep, see ya. Come back. That's today's episode. Thank you for joining us on Coldwater Canyon. I mean, it does sound like a soap opera or something.
Totally.
So anyway, that was cute. But I write about some of this stuff in my book, but I can't, as you know, when you do a book, when you write a book, you think, I thought, I was going to get everything out. I'm going to get all this out. This is going to be great. This is going to be really, really get a lot of stories off my mind. And since I'm the last man standing, I have a lot of stories that I think are important to tell. And it's like, I'm going to get this out. And of course, 800 pages later, the book comes like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, you're only halfway through.
450 pages is what we're going to give you. So I talked him into 200 pictures. And then what I did that was kind of cool is I let everybody who bought the book have access to like thousands of pictures on my website.
So take a look at these.
So imagine who drank champagne out of those glasses.
Yeah, you said these were Mary Pickford, so they would have come from
But
Pick
if you could buy
Fair.
a European poster that you think is beautiful,
I mean,
Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, Rudolph Valentino.
that's a score.
So I'm across the room and I said, what's the story with this? And they said, They said this was
Looks like my panel.
our favorite thing from Carrie's house.
That's a good company.
And where did she have this?
Control-
Over her fireplace. That's so
That's what
cool.
mine looks like, just like that.
Face to face with Freud.
I had to have that system because of the other buildings.
You gotta love it.
It was the only system that would allow me to have one system.
Well, we've pretty much seen everything that we can see except for Carrie Fisher's car. This was her Tesla right here. What a freaking day, huh, guys? I hope you guys enjoyed both of these vlogs. That's right, Princess Leia's Tesla. All right, my friends, we're gonna call it a day. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's vlog, and I hope you enjoyed today's. They were so amazing. I can't believe that we got this opportunity. Todd and Kat were just some of the nicest people I've ever met. They've invited us to come back anytime we want. And yeah, I think we made some friends out of this. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great night. And thank you especially to Todd Fisher for being so nice and sharing all that with us. And you know, he didn't have to do it. He wanted to do it. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.